Hello everybody, Simon here with another video. Today we're playing OpenTTD, which is a free open source transport tycoon game based off another transport game that came out in the early 2000s, so it has some nice retro style graphics, gameplay and music, so I hope you enjoy. After starting up the world, I set up a basic road network between this coal power plant and the Warmbridge coal mines as they're quite close together and allowed for a nice, cheap, easy way to get started with our transport empire. I bought a depot and some truck stops, one at each of the locations, and then a couple of trucks. Set up their routes, and then sent them off to go and pick up coal and send them over to the coal plant. Truck! And we've shipped our first coal. I then set up a new mail route between these two cities, Runhill and Hadwood, as it's subsidised and they're quite close together, so it was nice and easy to set up. Truck. I then added more trucks to our coal route to increase the amount of coal shipped and therefore the amount of profit we can get from this route. Next was expanding to the second nearby power plant and adding another city to our mail system. I then built a bridge over this river to expand the mail even further to Invertwood. A new subsidy was offered, and this was prime opportunity for creating our first railway from Sonhill to Runningbury. Whilst the train was loading, I expanded out the mail to Ninthatton, and then expanded out our railway to Gronwale and Ridingstone. I then made a bit of a mistake and tried forcing two trains to pass each other at the Gronwale station. Whoops. I then expanded the railway more using new diesel trains, which required a new Sonhill platform. I then continued expanding the railway eastwards, and as you can see, it's actually gotten quite big. There was an opportunity here to use boats to ferry people between Ronborough and Tinpool, so I set up some ports, one here, and a ship depot, and another port over at Tinpool. I then bought some ships, one passenger ferry, and then one cargo ship which I fitted out to carry mail between the two cities. If you're wondering what making a route looks like, here's a sped up version of it. So as you can see, the boats are working well, and actually they manage to generate a good bit of money with each trip they make back and forth. Next was the expansion into airplanes, so I built two airports, one here at Hadwood, and one over at Tinpool where we just set up the boats. Our profits were looking incredibly good, despite a couple of drops here and there. So I bought an airplane at Tinpool which could carry passengers and mail and told it to fly between Tinpool and Hadwood airports. At Tinpool and Hadwood, it's to unload all of its cargo and take a full load of any cargo. Then send it off on its way, and I repeated exactly the same thing with an aircraft bought at Hadwood. It as well would unload all of its cargo and take a full load of either passengers or mail before departing. The docks at Tinpool ended up being very overcrowded as the little ferry we'd first bought was far too small, so I ended up buying two larger ferries to join it on the route. As you can see, the aircraft are now making up a lot of our profits, so I set up two new airports and bought a couple more aircraft. Whoops again. Although this one actually wasn't my fault, which is better. I then came renaming and customising our company to the Channel Orange, obviously Guitar Transport, and setting up a new manager. Now, I know this is a bit of a shorter video than normal, but this actually came from almost 2 hours of footage. Setting up routes and managing vehicles is quite tedious and repetitive, and not especially entertaining, so much of it ended up being cut out. I have, however, considered doing some live streaming, so if you want to see me do some and perhaps stream some OpenTTD in the future, let me know in the comments. And until next time, goodbye.